All right, we're here now. What's going on, Golly Dating family? Appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. I'm giving this a new thing. You guys mentioned the quality has been getting better, so we're trying to find new ways to upgrade the channel. Trying to find videos that are relevant to content that Christians need to hear. Things regarding marriage, sex, purity, holiness, all those things. But I found a video extremely interesting. Cam Newton, NFL superstar, former NFL MVP. He was dating a woman many years. I don't know if it was from college, but he was dating a woman many years. Her name is Shakia. And what was weird was the fact that I found an article that tried to say she was an exotic dancer in the past. I don't know if that was her lifestyle personally. I'm not on here to bash him or her. I will never attack people online like that. At least that's not my goal. But, they mentioned that's what she used to do, whatever. Maybe that's how they met. But I found it very interesting that he managed to have 4 children with this woman. And despite having 4 kids with this woman, they never got married. And many of you listening, you may have not had any children with the person you're with, or you've been dating someone for years. And it made me wonder, why is it that a guy can be with a woman for so many years or have a baby for so many years and, not get married? So let's dive into this video, and I want to, dissect it just a little bit. Let me throw my headphones on and let you guys hear this.
Is that person that I was.
Start a lot of kids. Where's the ring? Why didn't you marry her? I'm confused why. Because as a baby mama myself.
And bear in mind, she already started this off saying the right question. Where's the ring? And this is not his girl. This is Brittany Renner. She's famous for some other things that we won't divulge on this channel. But popular woman, but her name goes around as being someone who's somewhat promiscuous. But I believe she asked Cam Newton the right question. Hey man, you was with this woman for quite some time. Where's the ring at? So she got straight to the point on this podcast. So let's see how he reacts to the question.
Let me just put myself in that shoes. It's why would you give me a forever commitment, which is a child, versus where's my ring?
Hear this. So bear in mind, listening to people that I don't know if they're Christian or not. I would assume they aren't, or maybe just. I'm not putting my ideas on anyone's faith. All right, so let's just stop right there. But this woman says, why would you give a forever commitment, which is a baby, but you not give the commitment of a ring, which is a solid question. And I think that's one of the reasons why there are so many clinics to get rid of children around the world. And it's weird because so many people are having sex and they are not necessarily committed to you. A lot of people think intimacy and sex are interchangeable, when in reality, you can have sex with someone you're not intimate with. A lot of people think that just because you're having sex, you're in love, or because you're having sex, you're committed. But in reality, there are a lot of people that are in relationships that are not committed to one another, but they're having fun. They're just having a good time. But the reason why I stopped is because she considered the baby the lifetime commitment, but they're not viewing sex as a lifetime commitment. Meaning I can have sex with you. It can be fun for the night, friends with benefits, things like that. That's what the world tells us. It's okay to do those things. And then when the baby comes in, that's when they feel as though it's complicated. When in reality, they're forgetting that their emotions are involved. They're forgetting that you're hurting yourself because you're allowing your emotions to make decisions that affect not only your body, but your future. And then people are scared of having children, and that's why they, the plan Bs, and they do all these things. But in reality, children are a blessing, and it should be a gift towards that married couple, and it shouldn't be viewed as a hindrance to you having fun. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they just view it as we can have kids now and weddings later, which is the reason why you see more baby shower parties than you see wedding celebrations. Ciao, back to the video.
Honestly, that's a great question. And it's kind of moving me because I just got hot. You feel me? But the thing is, that person that I was while we were having children together, I couldn't be the best husband. I wasn't prepared to be a husband then.
Okay.
Oh, you heard that? It takes so much maturity on his part to say, man, that person I was when we were having kids was not a person that could be the best husband that this woman deserved. It takes maturity for a man to admit, I'm not in a position to be in a relationship with you right now. I told that to a person. I was dating a Christian. Spiritually, I was off course. I was not living for God. And they were like, oh, we could just work through it. And I'm like, no, I don't care about living for God right now. I'm in a backslidden state. They didn't listen. So I had to push him away because I was like, listen, I'm not going to corrupt you. So I can respect that aspect of what he's saying. I can't be the best husband for you right now, girl. Like, it ain't gonna work out. But the issue with that is he was still willing to be with her, just not as her husband. He was still willing to have sex with her, just not as her husband. Hey, maybe they could have had a couple more kids. Who knows? They probably, fertile couple, you know what I'm saying? They're young people. Cam Newton probably barely over 30. His former girlfriend's probably 30 or whatever, and he did not have a problem with getting her pregnant or dating her. The issue was, I'm not good enough to be a husband. But if you don't see yourself good enough to be a husband, you shouldn't see yourself good enough to be a boyfriend, because dating is preparation for marriage. I want you guys to understand that when you're dating, the goal is not to let's just have fun. You should always have a goal in mind, And if you're seeing that, we're having kids together, we're bonding, we're growing, you're maturing, at least the goal should be you're maturing. That means you're preparing yourself to get married, not just sleep with someone. Because there's so many people who are going to love the idea of being with you, but when it requires commitment, they're not willing to make that sacrifice. He was perfectly fine being in bed with this young lady, but he didn't really care about the marriage part. And that's crazy to me. Back to the video.
And the hourglass was shrinking for her. And I pride myself on doing this. When me and her was together, Kia, that is.
Her name is Shakia.
We were both young. There wasn't nothing still, and I say this respectfully, there's still nothing that I would never do for her.
Right.
But at the same time, the person that she was when I met her, it wasn't the person that she was when I left her. When I met Kia and I
Hear that, guys? He said the person she was when they got together is not the person she was when he left her. So he knew she's becoming a woman that she's not as immature as when they first got together. He didn't mind her immature state. But as she began to mature, he realized, I'm not in the right frame of mind to be with her. Like I said, it took a lot of maturity to have this podcast. He could have decided, I ain't about to upload any of this. It took a lot of courage for him to post all these things. But he made it clear to us that she was maturing and he wasn't. She was progressing towards desiring something more and he wasn't. And we have to pay attention to the fact that if you're with someone and they're not maturing, you are carrying dead weight. Whether that's spiritually and they're not growing closer to God, closer towards God, you're carrying spiritual dead weight. If it's finances, they're not aiming to work or get an education or do any of these things, but they're just leeching after you. You're carrying dead weight. There's so many people who, man, and bear in mind, it's a millionaire, so I'm not saying he was like broke or something and she was the rich one. But what I'm saying is there's so many people that as you evolve, the person you are at 15 is not who you are at 25. And who you are at 25 is you're not going to have the same mindset at 35, 40, 50, 60. The goal is you should be growing. And he wasn't. So she was and he wasn't.
say this, protecting her too. She didn't know, she wasn't the one to be like, I want to get married. I want this. I want that.
Right.
And I was more so the person that, man, my parents been together for 36 years.
Woo.
So I know what marriage looks like. The ups, the downs, the trials and tribulations. My dad is a preacher. Father's a bishop.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm telling you, church people, we're the ones that make some of the worst decisions because he know better. You know what I mean? This brother has Christian parents. He was raised in church more than likely. He knows what it means to live for God. But you know what I'm saying? You young, good looking young man, you out there, you got money. The girls are going to throw themselves at you. You know what I mean? And that's probably just how he met his girl and how he wanted to continue his life. He never really matured past that, that little extra stage. But for parents to be celebrating 30-something years, my parents are celebrating 30-something years as of a couple weeks ago, man. That's a blessing.
My mom is, only thing she knows is, number one, church, and the only thing that she knows is my dad.
Hey.
Right? So that's all. So I know what a woman looks like, a submissive woman that's very strong and independent, what she stands for.
Okay.
And I've seen Kia really...
We'll make a video in the future about being submissive in marriage and also how that should look in dating. Because I know a lot of people, they may take what he just said out of context and feel as though he's trying to dominate a woman. I don't think that's the way he meant that. So we'll just talk about that in the future.
Evolving into a woman that her standards is like, I ain't just no
Baby mama.
I ain't just no baby mama, right? And when she kept putting pressure on me, I was like, I don't know if this is what I really want. You know what I'm saying? So selfishly, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this for, that I'm trying to get myself together. And I was in Temptation Island.
Yeah.
A football player, young, no, it's not even in my vocabulary, or right. And
I'm gonna go back a little
bit. She kept
bit.
putting pressure on me. I was like, I don't.
That's the crazy part about it. I just wanted to go back so we could hear that he said she was putting pressure on him towards marriage. Ladies, don't listen to this and view it as though I don't want to put pressure on a guy, so I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to just keep quiet. I don't want to mess up. We got a good thing going on. Y'all been dating 5 years. You don't have a good thing going on. You are getting your time wasted. You out here giving babies to someone who doesn't believe in committing to you. And I get it. A lot of people don't believe that marriage is important. They think it's just a piece of paper. As a Christian, I don't believe that. And a lot of people, I feel as though they're anti-marriage because a lot of the principles of society is anti-God. But like I said, that's a whole nother thing. But I love that he mentioned that this was very selfish of him, of viewing it that way.
This is what I really want. You know what I'm saying? So selfishly, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this for, that I'm trying to get myself together. And I was in Temptation Island.
Yeah.
A football player, young, no, it's not even in my vocabulary, or no, it's not in the vocabulary of people that's serving or doing or benefiting me or the beneficiaries. And I just find myself in this downward spiral.
Yeah.
So he says that when he was younger, being NFL, bear in mind, Cam Newton was an amazing football player, even from college. High school, he was big time. I think he played at Auburn in Florida, maybe one other school, but this dude has been getting attention for years. And if women threw themselves at me and other guys in high school for playing football, imagine dudes that are in college playing football and making it to national championships. Dude that's in the NFL playing football and making it all the way to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that's a problem with being famous. That's a problem with being so gifted and being athletic. But he said, man, he was struggling because he was in Temptation Island. But you can be faithful in no matter what island you on, bro. Committed island, faithful island, cheating island, whatever island you find yourself at, you can choose to be committed. He was choosing not to make that choice. And we as believers need to understand we have to be careful that we don't allow our environment to change how we carry ourselves. I don't believe that just because I'm offered something means I have to take the offer. And that's where temptation goes. Like Eve, the devil just suggested something that looked good. And eventually something she knew God wanted her to avoid began to look desirable to eat, desirable to touch, desirable to see. And that's what the enemy tries to do. And this brother, he admits, maturely, that he got himself distracted being on Temptation Island. I'm a superstar. All these girls want to sleep with me. You know what I mean? So he was doing his own thing. And maybe it was fine by her in the beginning, but as she matures, I can't tolerate being no side chick. You know what I mean? I'm out here giving you kids and you out here sleeping with half the world every time you're traveling. You know what I mean? So I get that, he's mature to admit it. But at the same time, you can't allow the island you're on, Temptation Island, to be your guide, man. We gotta step up, especially as men. I will say that because I know what it means to think that, if you struggle with lust, it'll change after marriage. But nah, you need boundaries even when you're married. So he may not feel like he was ready for marriage then, or may not be ready for marriage today. But even when he does get married, Temptation Island is not disappearing. He's still going to have to learn to exercise boundaries. So that's what we need to take in consideration.
And did she deserve better? I will humbly say yes.
Yeah.
She did. And the person that comes into her life and says, you know what, I will accept you for everything, for kids and all, that day's going to come. And I would just hope that they respect that I'm a hands-on dad first. You feel me? So you're going to have to see me
At some point.
At some point. You feel me?
So that's all that Cam is saying. He's a hands-on dad, Don't think you about to get rid of me. I'm about to be in the picture. But it's crazy because there's a lot of men who, and I get that he's just letting you know you ain't getting rid of my children. You ain't taking me away from my children. And he mentioned in the video he has a lot of respect for her. He'll still do anything for her because she's his friend, But at the end of the day, there's a lot of men who they won't take care of you, but they're very jealous when another man steps in and they'll do it. They won't respect you, but they're very jealous when another man steps in. And I'm sure it happens vice versa with women. I'm just speaking from a guy's perspective, but we have to be careful, ladies, because if you say, I'm going to stay with the Cam Newton or whoever it is with you right now who's not necessarily valuing you, you will never meet who God has for you. you're just going to keep popping out children. Dating for 7-8 years and you don't have any direction. Today is when you define the relationship. What are we? Where is this headed? Don't think that this is going towards marriage just because you've been together for years. And I'm not saying nag anyone. That'll push anyone away. But you need to be able to confront them like, hey, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Are we going towards marriage? What's going on? You know, don't let your time be wasted. But Cam Newton, I wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, it seems as though he needs to get his act together. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it took a lot of maturity for him to admit, you know, his wrongs. A lot of us, we don't want to admit our wrongs. But I will say, before you guys leave, comment below, what are your thoughts on this situation? Do you believe that you've ever been in those shoes? Have you ever been with someone who was like that, whereas you hope it goes towards marriage, but it seems as though you're wasting your time? Be sure to check us out, obviously, on social media and all those things. Follow Godly Dating 101. But I think this Cam Newton situation is interesting because there's a lot of church people like that. You may not be having kids with them, but a lot of people are in church and they're sleeping with somebody thinking, oh, well, we're going to get married anyways, you know? So I know y'all Christians, y'all trying to act like y'all ain't struggling, but hey, God is good. Praise the Lord. Anyhow, so I'll see y'all the next time I see y'all. Next time I upload a video will probably be this Thursday's podcast. So check it out. Godly Dating 101 podcast. Love y'all. Talk soon. Peace.